What's going on, guys? I'm back with another one, and I just watched a movie called Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. There's a lot of in the majority of these titles. Starring Freya Allen, William H. Macy, and Owen Teague. First of all, I'd like to do a little recap on the whole Planet of the Apes history, what I call the history of the ape planet. Okay, there really wasn't a fancy change around there, but I just like it better that way, because we're talking about monkeys. And if I accidentally really call any of these guys monkeys, excuse me, because it can be a bit of a mix-up sometimes for me. All right, but I know they're apes. I know the accurate wording for it. All right, none of them have tails, which is weird because the apes in Dragon Ball were called apes and they had tails. Still don't understand that to this day. But anyways, we're going to talk about the history. We're going to go through the history before we get to the actual meat and potatoes of the story. Okay? And the first one I got to start off with, of course, is the 70s lineup. Conquest, Escape, Beneath, Battle, and simply put, Planet of the Apes. All right, now this is the whole 70s lineup. This is the first ones to come out. Now, the only thing I can really remember about this, because I haven't seen these movies in like years. All right, and when they came out, I used to be really into that because it was just so odd and strange to me how these things were walking around that looked like they were, I guess they were humans. I didn't know what was going on as a little kid. They had hair on their face and they appeared to be talking monkeys, and it was so strange to me. And it was kind of funny at the same time for such a young kid. But then at the other same time, it was interesting. And because I've seen this such a long time ago, I only really remember what Charles Heston brought to the table. You know, one of the most popular actors in that whole 70s lineup. Yeah, the guy that played in the Ten Commandments a long time ago, eons ago, eons before my time. Okay. Yes, he also did his thing on here with the "you damn dirty apes." See, he did that. That was his thing. Okay, so he burnt a hole in this franchise. Not a bad hole either. Not a bad hole. Just a hole with his face outlined in it. He's Charles Heston, ladies and gentlemen. All right, and this is what you're gonna remember if you don't remember anything else about this 70s lineup of Planet of the Apes movies. And there were 5 of them, so it really rang through strong. All right. Then we can start to move on to the one-shot Tim Burton 2001 Planet of the Apes. Now, this one really didn't do that well. Sadly. It was an interesting movie. I'll give it that. It was very interesting to me. I thought it was, you know, ahead of its time. It was something that grabbed my attention. And it made a lot of money at the box office, which, you know, money at the box office doesn't mean a good movie necessarily. It just means a whole lot of people came to see it. And in the process, they could have wasted their money. All right, but it still got theirs. It still got paid. The movie still got paid. The producers still got paid. The directors, the actors, they still got paid. So that doesn't mean anything. But I'm telling you personally, from my opinion, this was a decent movie to me. Now, a lot of other people who really love the old school Planet of the Apes movies, they were disappointed. Their feelings were hurt about the 2001 Tim Burton one shot. Okay, they did, and I also heard that Tim Burton didn't want to do this, or he didn't enjoy making this movie. If you didn't enjoy making this movie, why did you do it? Why did you pick Mark Wahlberg to play the astronaut in this movie? Why did you do that? You could have got anyone else. Your thoughts were Mark Wahlberg? Come on, man. Now you know that that's not going to go over well. That's not going to go over well. But still, despite Mark Wahlberg being one of the main cast members of this film, I still enjoyed that movie. You have a lot of good actors behind the makeup, and usually I can't tell who the hell's behind that Planet of the Apes makeup or CGI or whatever. I can't tell who the hell's doing that, except for that one guy who's famous for doing all that CGI. You hardly ever see what his face looks like. That played, Claw on Black Panther a long time ago. That guy, yeah, he's the only one I noticed. I think he played Caesar on the other ones, right? But besides that, I don't know who's on these things if they're in ape makeup. But on that one, on 2001 edition, I knew that Michael Duncan Clark, rest in peace, he played the main gorilla on 2001. All right, that was well known. You could tell it was him. You could hear his voice. It was strong. When he slammed that table, I jumped. I think everybody in the audience just jumped when he slammed that table. Okay, we were scared. We thought this guy was really outside of the screen talking to us. That's how good of a job he did. Okay, and then there was Tracy Bonham, whatever her name is, the one that was dating Tim Burton for a minute or whatever. You could tell it was her. You could tell it was her. She did that good of a job, in my opinion. And I kind of liked her character. It was kind of like, oh, she's a monkey, but never mind. I think I might have said too much with that one. Anyways. So that's that. And it wasn't really enjoyed by a lot of people, of the majority. And that's okay. That's all right. Because it was a one shot and they'll never do that again. But then later on, in 2011, and I'll call this the 2010s lineup, you had Rise, Dawn, and War. In my opinion, this was the best ones to come out. They finally perfected the Planet of the Apes lineup and franchise with this one. They got it right. It was more realistic. It wasn't that cheesy monkey makeup and the prosthetics and all this no, it was none of that. It was none of that. This is one of the few times that I could say I preferred the CGI to the prosthetics, if I'm saying that right. Okay, one of the few times, because they did the CGI just right. It wasn't overdone or cheaply done. And I appreciated that. The first one was the Rise of Caesar, and he was just a normal monkey who got the little virus up in him, or the shot, and then he started getting smarter and smarter, and until he got other monkeys to get the shot too, and everybody's raising up and doing their thing. Yeah, that happened in that one. Then Dawn is when they had pretty much caused a riot at the end of the first one, and then this is coming from that. And they're like, hey, we're not trying to have a war, but please, respect us. Please respect us. That's all Caesar wanted, was respect. After a monkey started talking for no reason. And, they didn't give him the respect. And so that's when they had to take it to part 3. War. Because now it's war, man. And they were treating these monkeys, once again, I don't want to say too much, but these monkeys were these apes. These apes were slaves at one point in this movie, and that was crazy to me. So keep that in mind, because these franchises for Planet of the Apes always had that racial tone to it. And I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm just saying. And now we have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And my question is, will this beginning of obviously what is going to be a new franchise be just as good as the old school franchises? We're about to find out. Let's go. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes pretty much is starting out years, I mean decades, eons after Caesar's death, right? And it's pretty much the whole world is monkeyfied, apeified. It's all kind of grass and leaves and plants covering the buildings that used to be there. You could tell those used to be old buildings, and there's just plants covering that now. And it's the stuff that they climb up now because they're all monkeys, right? Most of the people on Earth are monkeys from what you can see. And they have the whole bird clan, and there's different clans within the apes family, apes. And so, you know, you got that whole community going on amongst them. And there's this one guy named Noah who is with his friends and his homies, and they got to do this whole climb test and how good could they climb. And so it's going to be the whole challenge for the next day with the familiar, getting to know your family type stuff. I don't know, something like that, connecting with the family. And it's a whole ritual that these apes do from time to time. Okay, and they don't get it right, they have to start all over the next time around, or they got to get disqualified or something like that. It's kind of weird, but whatever. And so also at the same time, these apes go too far off and they hear all the echoes, what they call echoes, which is really humans. All right. And so later on, they discover that one of the humans is a girl, and you know, she's all acting like she doesn't know what's going on, and she's very primal, which is weird because she's a human, and I don't know how they got like that. But yes, they kind of take her in like a pet. But then there are some other apes who are still riding in the name of Caesar, but kind of in the wrong way. All right. And this is what causes a lot of chaos and turmoil and distrust between the good apes and the, you know, seemingly good humans in this movie. And it's going to cause a divide within the later end of some sort. And that's the premise of the movie. All right. Positives. There was so much emotion from the apes in this movie. You could see it in their facial expressions. This goes right back to that 2011 lineup that I was talking about. And I said this was the best lineup in 2010s. They're bringing that feel back into this one, of course. And you could just, every time the ape spoke, you can see the pain or the misery or them just the happiness in each of these apes as they went around the community and did their thing and playing or discovering different things or just fighting or whatever they did. There was a lot of emotion to it. Like it's real apes doing this. I almost forget every time this is CGI watching stuff like this. And there was no shortage of that in this film. All right. They kept that going. Another positive. The deep symbolism. Now, when I said there's a lot of racial aspects in these franchises, there is. It's kind of like you know what they're trying to get at. And I'm not trying to get too deep because I'm no Malcolm X or nothing like that. So I'm not going to do that. All right. Don't worry. I'm not going to do that. But I am going to say this. There is one scene in this movie where the people who ride for Caesar, they are walking around, or not walking around, they're riding on horses with brown cloaks on their head. Not the whole body, but on their head. And other people used to do that too. And they were looking for humans. So what do you think, or how do you think that looks? What do you think the first things that pop into certain people's heads when they see this? So that was crazy to me. Now, some people might be offended by it, whatever, but I was not offended. I understood that there might be a purpose symbolism going on here. Like, there's something that the director purposely wanted to portray in this movie, and they got their point across. Okay, I get it. If no one else gets it, I get it. Trust me. I got it. Last positive. How primitive the humans were before they started talking. All right. And like I said, they caught that first girl, and she just was like a little animal who just every move she made, it was like she was really scared of them. More scared of them than they were of her. All right. She jumped or just kind of cowered away. I'm saying that word wrong. And it was like a little animal who didn't trust the humans, flipping it the other way around, that were trying to, befriend it. But this is a human acting like that. And she did such a good job at that. Then there was a whole herd of these kind of humans at the lakeside getting water one time. And it really looked like some gazelle or sheep or deer at a lake just getting some water, but they're humans. And so that whole portrayal of that is insane. And I'm still trying to wonder something. I'm going to bring this up later on about the humans and how they got like this. It doesn't make any sense to me. All right. But I still like how the human actors, they pulled that off. How they pulled the whole entire thing like they were actually wild animals off. But we can see that they're humans, clearly. All right. Negatives. The acting got bad as soon as the humans started to talk, unfortunately, which once again makes the humans in a movie about mostly animals or some kind of animal interaction the bad actors. It never fails. King Kong and Godzilla. And yes, once the girl started talking, you quickly realize she can't act. Whoever that actor is, I just named her name in the beginning of this review. Freya Allen, you can't act. You can't act, man. You might want to go over your acting skills once more, or get your feet wet a little more than what you have. All right, because you're not a good actress. And there's another actor in here who really didn't do a lot. He's well known, William H. Macy. He didn't do a lot. I mean, he did better acting than she did. That's not that hard. But still, I'm not trying to be that guy. But yeah, it wasn't all that. Wasn't all. And the humans in the other franchises before this did even a better job than that. So I was really disappointed on the humans' behalf when it came to the acting. All right, I don't know what happened there. I really don't know what happened. It's kind of a little off-putting. I don't know. Another negative. Why can't the humans speak, or most of them? Why can't most of them speak at first? I don't get it. So I understand the whole deal that happened with the virus and how it killed the humans off. And it made the apes, smarter, right? So I know at no point in time did I hear about the humans getting dumber. Am I right? So how in the hell did the humans get dumb? The virus did that, or I'm not understanding. Why would they lose their intelligence? That's never explained in the movie at all. It doesn't make any sense. If someone knows the reason that these humans could not talk all of a sudden after all those years, please explain it to me in the comment section. I would love to know why that's a thing. Why that's even a thing? Because once again, I understand why the apes got to where they got and why there would be mostly a lot of dead humans, but the dumb ones who can't talk and are just animalistic now, it doesn't reach. It doesn't connect at all. It makes absolutely no sense. I'm sorry. All right. Last negative. The action was almost non-existent throughout the middle of the movie. All right. When it got to the middle of the movie, a lot of the exciting parts and the ones that get your adrenaline going, that stopped really fast. And then it was a bunch of walking around and talking. Okay, and I'm not gonna lie, I fell asleep a little bit. My interest started to lower, started to lose it a little bit, and I drowsed out. My eyes closed, and there was some snoring going on for a couple of seconds. Okay, so when I woke up, miraculously, the movie started getting better. Okay, wasn't too much sleep. I didn't miss too much. All right, but they started talking a lot. It was irritating. Okay, that was the irritating part of the movie, and I just wanted that to stop. No more talking. Get to the action. Okay. All right. This movie does well when there's a lot of things going on, and it keeps you interested in what you're watching. All right. You cannot never drop the ball like that ever again. But with that said, I still have to give this a hell yes, because it's back. That franchise is still back, man. I feel the vibe again. All right. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. There's going to be a second one. There's going to be a third one. Guarantee you that. All right. And maybe this will keep going on and on and on for years and years and years, just like the Star Wars thing. But hopefully this doesn't drop the ball. And in honesty, this should be a whole lot more respected than the Star Wars franchise, because you see how that ended up. I don't think it's going to end up like that. All right. There's a consistent vibe about this movie or these movies that they don't drop the ball completely. Even the one-off wasn't really a bad one-off. It's not what, a lot of people wanted. They didn't want Tim Burton to do it. But come on, man, Tim Burton did a decent job. I'm not gonna keep bouncing that ball and hold on to that dead horse right there. But Tim Burton did a good job, man. All right, just let that one go. You let it go, I'll let it go. Okay. I still like this franchise. I'm still in here for the long haul. I think it's not gonna fall off the horse. It's not gonna lose its momentum. Watch my word. Press the like button, subscribe. You better share it.